Well, good morning and welcome back to Lucore Automotive. Today I am doing a lot of work. It is Wednesday, the 27th. It is Wednesday, the 26th of May. The Great AMC Day is Friday, the 28th of May, so exactly 2 days from right now. The 1979 AMC AMX really needs to be there. In order to get it there, we need to put a motor in it. And the motor is sitting on the floor in pieces. In the previous video I showed you we picked up all of the short block stuff. I've got the crank back, I've got the block fully back machined, assembled with core plugs, freeze-out plugs, cam bearings in it. I've got my rods, my brand new pistons. I've got my camshaft, flywheel, balancer, timing set, blah 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 blah. Everything to build my short block. But I have to get this done in a hurry. So essentially, this short block needs to be assembled by about 5 hours from now. Then I need to go back to the machine shop, pick up my heads, bring the heads back, get those on the motor, get everything else in it, get my intake manifold on it, get that in the car, but we got to get the old motor out first. Yeah, follow along. This is going to be a bit. Anyway, so yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. I need to get all of this stuff done, get this on the engine mount, and then and then do cleaning. Once the cleaning is done, then I can start assembling, and then I've got to take a break to go pick up more parts. I've got to pick up an oil pickup that I don't have, an intake manifold gasket that I don't have, a carburetor that I'm probably going to put a brand new one on this, and I got to go pick up my heads from Mike at M&M Head Service because he is trying to bust out our heads right now. As long as we get all of that done, we should have a assembled motor. Then we have to pull the rest of the old motor out and swap things over we need to swap over. Get this motor in the hole, get it fired up, get it broken in. Yeah, no big deal. So, kind of a gas monkey garage kind of thing. We've got a thing we gotta do. Not normally our style. Unfortunately, with parts availability and delays all over the place, this has just kind of been its norm, I guess, nowadays. Unfortunately, we're up against a hard wall of we need to have this figured out, or not figured out, I guess, by Friday morning. So I'm gonna get to work. Lots and lots of work to do. Step one, get it on the engine stand. Yeah.
Time to drop our crankshaft in. We gotta clean it first though. So we're gonna roll this guy over here and throw a bag on it. End play, we should be good to go. That just verifies that my crankshaft isn't worn and it's not going to float too far forward or back. It's called crankshaft end play. So now we can start building our pistons and put our pistons in onto the crankshaft. Once those are done, we can install our camshaft, our sump, our oil. We won't do the oil pan until front cover's on, but I can put the front cover on after the cam's on. So we'll keep moving.
young man you see in the background of this video with Rich assisting with bolt tightening and ringing and all this other stuff is actually a brand new young understudy here at Lucore Automotive. His name is Gage, and this was his very first day at work. Most shops, it's, you know, you're the tire change guy, you're the oil change guy. Not here at Lucore Automotive. It's sink or swim. First day in, you're helping build muscle car motors. So, hey Gage, welcome aboard, man.
It is Wednesday night, 7:13 p.m. We are at the shop, as you can see. Got a lot going on. Big lifted diesel truck that is blowed up. Motor for a Lincoln blown up. That blew up a motor. You haven't seen that yet. Still have the Lotus over here that needs attention. Subaru SVX that, you know, needs attention because it needs a motor put in it. Hey, look, there you go. She's coming along. Look at that. Heads are on it. Short block's already obviously assembled. Look at this. Getting our brand new PRW balancer on there. Super happy with that, by the way. Comes with 3 different sets of weights on it. So technically speaking, this does not work on an AMC 304. But it most certainly does work on an AMC 304 because we balanced it with it. Ended up with half a gram on the front and 0.3 grams on the rear. Yeah, super nice. Anyway, so we're definitely still working. It is Wednesday night. This thing's got to be ready to go like tomorrow and fired up. The AMX is in the shop. Looky, there's nothing in there. Because the old motor's on the floor. Yeah, making progress. Apologize if we're cutting back and forth here. I just wanted to freehand some camera around so you could see a little bit of what's going on. We've been doing a lot of work and not a lot of filming. So, sorry, but we need to get this car done. So, oh yeah, hey, that's pretty cool. G37 Infinity with all kinds of craziness on it. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, back to work, back to work.
Something to install this with.
(9:01 p.m. Wednesday. Heads are on. Timing cover's on. Oil pump and all that stuff's on. Distributor is in. Fuel pump is on. Yeah. Pretty much everything is on, which is good. Still have a lot to do tomorrow. It needs to be assembled and running and in the car tomorrow. Intake manifold goes on tomorrow. We're going to put the exhaust manifolds on tomorrow and then drop it in the hole. And then we'll hook up everything once it's in the car, put the valve covers on last, because they're kind of a party piece at this point in time. And then, yeah, hope for the best. So, 9 o'clock, that's enough for tonight. See you again in the morning. You're going to see that in like 2 seconds.
Again, this is this gentleman's very first days working for us. You know, when you are normally getting yourself involved in automotive work, there's usually some, you know, baby steps before you learn how to really get in there. And To say we're starting this guy out on a different level is an understatement. And the funny thing is, one of our other guys that you've seen a little bit in the background as well, Derek, that you also saw in the most recent SCCA racing video, kind of had the same first experience. His first week in the shop, he was help build a Subaru engine and do engine swaps. So, you know, it's just the nature of the business, the scope of work that we do here at Lucore Automotive. We'd love to do just, you know, oil changes and brake jobs and basic suspension stuff, but, you know, we do the more complicated stuff, and that's what we're known for. So, fortunately, this guy's jumping in on the deep end, but he's swimming so far.
Excuse me while I whip this out. Woo! Wow! Amazing show.
It was amazing.
Still is amazing. Wish I could still do stuff like that today.
We're getting close. We're getting close. It's getting to the point of buttoning up time, and it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Now, one thing I have never shown any of you people is my coup de grace for this car. These were designed and made for me right around the time the air compressor kicks on. Anyway, these were designed and made for me about a year ago when I first really got involved with this AMX project, and I was positive that I was going to be able to use that 304 that was the extra motor. So I went ahead and painted the motor and made it, you know, beautiful red, white, and blue, blah, blah, blah. As much America as we possibly could get. Well, unfortunately, that didn't really work out, right? So I've held on to these ever since because I think it's the most awesome thing that I could possibly put on an American Motors vehicle. I had these custom done for me by Jonathan Kinney. He's a good friend of mine of Columbus Airbrush, and he made me some custom airbrush painted America valve covers for an AMC. How awesome are those? So it's finally time to put these things on an AMC motor, and they're gonna look amazing. Easily worth 10 or 15 horsepower. It's got a freaking bald eagle, man. Look at that. Thank you, Jonathan, for these.
It's Friday morning. It's about 5:52. I left here last night around 6 because I was exhausted, and when you have a wife and kids, you actually need to go home and see them. So I went home, we had dinner. It was the end of the school year yesterday, so kids are off for summer. School's out for summer. But now it's time to get back to work on this. AMC Days is at 9 today. Or at least I think it starts at 9 this morning. And we still have to break this engine in, so I have to make a fuel line and tidy up a few other things. The battery's in, battery cables all look to be good. I'm going to check that here real quick. Got a couple more vacuum lines to hook up. Build this fuel line because our fuel configuration is different than it was previously. We had a small coolant leak yesterday after we started putting coolant in it, but that was an easy fix. It was just a hose that wasn't tightened down correctly. It's now sat for 6, 8, 10 hours with coolant in it, and the coolant hasn't gone down. We already have engine oil in the engine. We have break-in oil in it, which is a high zinc oil. Specifically for break-in, it's about $8 a quart, and then right after we do our engine break-in, we're going to dump it into the recycling bin, because that's what you do with break-in oil. You spend $70 on oil and a filter, and then you throw it away for the good of the engine. I have already pre-oiled this engine. I pre-oiled it on the engine stand with the valve covers off so I could verify that I had oil flow through all my push rods. Everything looked good there. So I'll probably just run this break-in straight off of a gas can, and then we can work on the fuel, cleaning the fuel system while the engine cools down, because I need that to get back down to 120 degrees after a full scale 20-30 minute 2200 RPM ish engine break-in run. Probably the most stressful part about building an engine is the break-in. We got power, starter engages. Set up my timing light, get the cooling fan over here, find the radiator cap. Let's throw some fuel in the vents to fill up our carb. Find one of my bottles. It's 7:25 in the morning on Friday. It's raining, so I'm not doing this outside where I should be doing this, because if you're going to have an engine fire during engine break-in is probably when it's going to happen. But I do have my fire extinguisher at the ready. I am using a different fuel source off this 2-gallon jerry can over here off the side, so we will run it for 30 minutes or until it runs out of fuel, whichever comes first. Electric choke's hooked up to a feed. I have starter, I have my fuel system all sorted out as far as the break-in is concerned. Engine coolant is full. We do not appear to have any leaks. My engine oil is full. We don't appear to have any leaks yet. It is an AMC, so I fully expect it to have a leak. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till 7:30 and then I'm gonna light this thing up, because if I had come back last night when I had thought about doing this, I started to think about the fact that my neighbors may not actually like me doing an engine break-in at 10 10:30, 11, 12 o'clock at night. So I decided to wait till morning hours, and you know, everybody can wake up to some AMC American noises at 7:30. I think that's a pretty good alarm clock. So a couple more minutes here, we'll light this thing up. I think we're ready. I did turn the base idle up a full turn. That way when it fires, it should start at a higher RPM, allow me some time to get out here and rev it and probably play with the timing and all that. So, most important part, engine brake in, get it up to speed, get it running, and sort out the mayhem in the end. Say a prayer, all that. Alright, it's about time. Let's kick her in the guts, say a prayer. That's not it. Dang it. It's supposed to just go boom and fire to life. I probably have the timing off. Well, I'm going to have to double check my timing because that was horrible. Put the plug back in because I'm a dummy. Crank it over. Hang on. Never got fuel pressure. If there's a backfire where fire comes out of the carb, continue cranking. Don't let off so like you're cranking and there's a backfire. When you're cranking, just continue cranking because it'll help pull the fire back down into the engine and spit it out the exhaust. Right. It sounds weird, but trust me, I'm a professional. Go ahead and crank it. I think my fuel pump's bad. Can you give me a fuel pump, Dave? Alright, so engine brake-in process step 5 or 6 or whatever we're at now. Step 1, make sure the gas tank that you filled yesterday to use as your fuel supply tank is actually full of fuel. I even picked it up and filled my little squirt bottle this morning and didn't even register to me the weight of it was not full, so yeah, it just screwed me. I fired the engine twice, didn't have fuel pressure because my pickup was sucking air. So now I have a full fuel tank and we're going to try this one more time. I'm going to fill up the float bowls, we're going to crank it over, and hopefully this time we'll actually be able to do a proper break-in. I'm really frustrated right now. Crank it over. ran a minute ago.
Yeah.
That's flooded. Crank it. Why isn't there any fuel in my float bowl? That explains a lot. Where'd it go? It should pour out all over the intake when we take it loose. It didn't do that. Did it? Did you see fuel pour out of this when we took it loose?
No, not a single bit. Not even wet underneath of it.
So this is Jeg's carburetor take 2. The first one was overfueling. I pulled the bowl off to inspect it, and the power valve looked funny, and the bottom bolt galled on its way out, pulling a thread out with it. So we switched it out for another unit, and I'm going to go ahead and fill the carb bowls with fuel off the car because I want to see if they leak. So we're going to do that right now. Really frustrating. Go ahead.
a bit hot.
How long was that?
Minutes, 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes.
Three and a half minutes.
I think we're gonna need a better radiator.
Kick the fan in the high gear.
Put it in high gear. It's all right. I think it just started freaking me out because it's smoking.
This is incredibly nerve-wracking, especially given the fact that it already had problems. There's a lot of time, money, energy involved in this that you could be watching going very badly.
Just drank 2 gallons of fuel.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
How is
At 2,500 RPM.
How is that possible? There's a full tank of gas, and there's maybe a quart left in it?
It shouldn't drink that much in that short. I mean, maybe it would. I don't know.
No way!
Mike thought it was a little excessive too.
It's only like 310 cubic inches. How is that possible?
You left the key on. I mean, it's got to be the carb, because the carb's what regulates our fuel. Oh, you know what? I know what it is.
What's that?
The reason, because this has a fuel return line on it.
Oh, so it's filling the tank.
It's filling the tank.
There you go.
It just came to me. Having a blonde day.
Okay. Okay.
That makes way more sense.
That makes way more sense. Okay.
way more sense. So we'll pinch off the fuel return line. And then that'll tell us if the carb floats are doing their job, because it's a mechanical fuel pump, which was essentially dead-headed anyway. And at this RPM, it's going to consume all the fuel anyway.
That makes a
I
lot
thought
more sense.
I was losing my mind. I'm like, how? It's not physically possible to drink that much fuel. And
It would
you're
literally
right,
be
it
coming
is
out.
not.
It would be coming out the tailpipe.
So building a car in 5 days can be done, but it's not smart because
Right.
you lose your mentality.
Yeah. They did this in less than 5 days.
Did we do it in
3
less than
days.
3 days? We did it in 3 days?
The-
No wonder I can't think.
This engine block was sitting on the table at Mike's place, naked, at 2:03 p.m. on Tuesday. It is 11:37 on Friday.
That's why I can't think. Okay.
Did it in 2 days.
That
Went from
explains-
old engine in car,
That explains a lot.
old engine out, new engine built, new engine in
My
car.
brain's cooked.
I bet.
I'm glad it's a 3-day weekend, even though I'm still going to be here tomorrow work.
Yeah, but nobody will be here to bother you.
Thank God. There she blows. She's really seated now. That sucks.
Probably plug this fan in.
Yeah. He almost died tripping over it.
Yes, it did.
Hey, there, now it's better. Use a radiator cap. in a radiator. Scared the poop out of me. Some days you succeed and some days you fail. Today's not one of those successful days. Jags. Nothing ever fits.
So how much modification is that going to need to fit?
Well, it doesn't fit.
Yes, huh?
Well, we know this thing was hammered in the right front corner at some point in its life. I just got to trim the core support a little bit.
No big deal. All right, AMC people, I'm headed out to Great AMC Day. Right on time.
Hang on, I got to get a tool.
Rich is gonna keep working. I'm gonna go stand around in the rain, look at car stuff.
So I lowered the radiator to make it fit, and I missed the fact that that changed my angle of the dangle for the lower hose. So now I need a better lower hose, because mine has a hole in it. Yeah.